All right, y'all, we're gonna show y'all how I press certain pistons on tonight. And this procedure, so far I have not found a domestic piston that I cannot press without using the proper tools. This particular piston right here, for instance, this is a Chrysler 2.2 4-cylinder piston, which is some of you slant six gurus out there know that you can use this in the slant six piston with the correct connecting rod, and that's the 198 slant six 7.005 inch connecting rod, and they will achieve 0 deck height. That's what I've got on my long rod motor over there behind me, but they don't have a dish in them. It's going to be a high compression engine. I say high, about 10.5, 10.6 to 1. Anyway, get off on that tangent. That particular piston I have to press a little bit different way that I'm going to show you tonight. But what I'm going to show you now, we're going to press a piston on this rod right here. This is a slant six connecting rod. It is a cast crankshaft engine connecting rod because it's narrow on the big end down here compared to a forged crank connecting rod, and that is a little wider. You can see how wide that bearing is in comparison. Anyway, the first thing you have to do, you can see right there above my thumb, there's a notch on top of that piston. Well, right there on the bottom, if you see the little U-shaped groove notch out of the piston, that's the front of the piston. And yeah, that pin's got some heavy-duty pitted rust in there, no big deal. What we have to do is get the piston in there the correct way, and the valve locks on the bearing on the connecting rod go to the right side of the engine when everything is fine and dandy here with that notch pointing toward the front of the engine. So what we need to do, I'm kind of out of camera shot over here, but you can hear what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show it to you when I get done. You kind of have to set the thing up and get it ready, which is what I'm doing. And actually, we probably could almost tap this, just about tap this piston pin in with this deal here. Just about tap it in with a hammer almost, but not quite. Now this one, I may bust this one because I've got it, as you can see, I don't have anything in between the piston and my press bars there. Nothing in between. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. I say I may bust this one because I've got the pin started in there a little crooked. But since this piston here is a 01, I'm not really caring about that. So, and let's see here. No, it looked like it might have straightened it up. I figured it would. It usually does. You kind of want to soak it down with something there. Yep, it straightened it right on it. I knew it would. If you look carefully, you can see where I tapped on this piston. This might be one of, no, it's not one of the busted ones, but anyway. I busted a few of these little shells off coming out, because I knew the pistons wasn't worth a crap anyway, so. And I know about how far down to go with that to get that pin about centered, which is probably about right there. That's probably close. But anyway, there it is. And as you can see, this is the end we pressed against right there. There are no marks on the piston whatsoever. There might be a scratch or two right there in that area, but no big deal. Nice and free. We didn't screw nothing up. But I mean, and the reason you can do that on these pistons is because if you look, it has support through all of the ring lands right here, plus it's got support right here at the bottom. And like I say, yeah, there's a little bit of a scratch there. Big whoop, it's not gonna hurt anything. Because once you get, if you take a look at how this is done, once you get that pin started in the top here, and the connecting rod against the bottom of the piston, look how much you'd have to break that piston. I mean, you're not pressing down on the top of the piston, so you're not gonna crush it this way. What you're doing is pressing on the connecting rod here, down against the bottom of the piston. And some of these pistons, like these other ones over here, see, these lack that bottom support across here. So you can't press on this the same way I did that. However, I can do these. And the way I do these, I put a large opened in wrench right here, sticking out from underneath it, and press against this part right here, because that's what that's made for. There are tools, special tools that cost hundreds of dollars that the machine shops use, that you have to use to support this area to press on. But if you use your head a little bit, you can come up with something. And I've pressed these, like I say, I've pressed these pistons several times, and you can kind of see the little indentation a little bit. But I mean, what's that gonna hurt? It's not gonna hurt a thing. That's the way I press these pistons in the backyard here at Rusty Rat Rod's Garage and Automotive Emporium. And yeah, you can cringe if you want to and say, well, that's hillbilly bullshit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe it is. But these are the pistons right here that I'm gonna run in the slant six in Project Cheap and Nasty. And I press these on, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. There's the area I pressed against, and yeah, you might can see a scratch or two in there. Nothing up in here, everything's fine. That's basically the way I do it. Because having worked in a machine shop for a long time when I was a kid, and on in after school a little bit into my 20s, where we did have to correct tools, there was the occasional piston where we had to use our imagination a little bit. So, you know, God gives us a brain for a reason, so we can figure stuff out. And that's the way I figured it out. If you'd like to see me press it back off again, I'd be more than glad to. And as I say, my disclaimer is I could bust any piston at any given time. And if I do, big whoop, I'm not using it anyway. So, yes, these are 9/16 sockets that I'm using. You have to be real careful. You can't get that that bottom support there I was showing you. You can't get that over the hole, or else all bets are off. And then you would bust the piston for sure. But you put it on there right, and you're careful with it. And like I said, I did this, well, I guess I've done this 12 times now. This will be 13. You see, there goes the wrist pin, pressing it right out. And you can hear even my fat ass over here. I'm not breathing hard pumping on this, so I'm not putting hardly any pressure on it at all. It's just coming right on out. I don't know, I'd guess maybe a ton or 3. It's a 20-ton. It's a 20-ton bottle jack. So, and see, we're not pressing the piston this way. It's not going to crunch the piston. We're pressing against this bottom bolster down here, and we've got the bottom of the piston right here where I showed you the support was earlier, right there on my press bars, and got the top of the piston, all the ring lands right there on the press bars as well. So, not like we're going to destroy anything. Pin's fixed to come out. I don't want it to hit the ground, even though it is rusted all the heck back. So there we go. There's the pin. There we are back apart. Put that connecting rod down there in that pile. And as you can see, I wiped the grease back off of it. So you can see we didn't do any damage to anything. There might be a scratch or two on it, but this is actually one of the pistons that would actually ride if I cleaned it up. I mean, I don't like that stain on it and all, but you know, if we had to use it, we could. You know, all us po folks down here in the South that never got reconstructed, we have to do what we have to do to get by. You know, we're not like these rich folks like Biden and Harris are supporting. Anyway, thank you for watching tonight, and we'll see y'all later.